What is up, my one subscriber? We are here today, another Bible study. Thank you for joining. I want to go over a really important part of Scripture. All Scripture is important, but here I'm in Luke 13, and the reason I want to share this is because it's one of those parables, like a lot of the parables that Jesus talks about are really applicable to most parts of life. And it's the breaking down the understanding that Jesus shares, breaking down how stories can teach us very important lessons that someone simply saying the lesson wouldn't teach you. And so this lesson is about when you humble yourself, you're lifted up. And when you exalt yourself, you're brought down. And how when you give to people who need, you store riches in heaven. And when you give to people who don't need, it doesn't do anything for you in heaven. Even good people do good things to good people. Very rarely good things do good things to people who can do nothing for them. All right, so let's get started. Luke 14. Luke 14, NIV 5 to 11. We'll go through first. When he asked them, "If one of you has a child or an ox that falls into a well on the Sabbath day, will you not immediately pull it out?" And they had nothing to say. When he noticed how the guests picked the places of honor at the table, he told them this parable. "When someone invites you to a wedding feast, do not take the place of honor, for a person more distinguished than you may have been invited. If so, the host who invited both of you will come and say to you, 'Give this person your seat.' Then, humiliated, you will have to take the least important place. But when you are invited, take the lowest place, so that when your host comes, he will say to you, 'Friend, move up to a better place.' Then you will be honored in the presence of all the other guests. For all those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted." Then Jesus said to his host, "When you give a luncheon or dinner, do not invite your friends, your brothers or sisters, your relatives, or your rich neighbors. If you do, they may invite you back, and you will be repaid. But when you give a banquet, invite the poor, the crippled, the lame, the blind, and you will be blessed. Although they cannot repay you, you will be repaid at the resurrection of the righteous." That last part. You will be paid at the resurrection of the righteous. And this is why I feel just so mad. I feel so mad at so many Christians who go through their life, they go to church every weekend, and they do absolutely nothing for people who can't help them. They say, "Oh, I'm a good Christian. I go to church. I read my Bible. I hang out with my church friends. I do this. I do that." But none of what they're saying has anything to do with righteousness. Everything they're saying is just a little like to-do checklist so that in my own delusional state of mind, I can feel like I'm not going to hell. There's another part of scripture here. Now that I mention it, let me put the narrow door. So in Luke 13, verse 24, "Make every effort to enter through the narrow door, because many, I tell you, will try to enter and will not be able to. Once the owner of the house gets up and closes the door, you will stand outside knocking and pleading, 'Sir, open the door for us.' But he will answer, 'I don't know you or where you came from.' Then you will say, 'We ate and drank with you, and you taught in our streets.' But he will reply, 'I don't know you or where you come from. Away from me, all you evil doers.'" Now, unless you want God to tell you, I don't know you, I don't know where you came from, get away from me, you evildoers. You have to make yourself known. Make yourself known in heaven. Build up a reputation. Oh, that's this person. They did X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, good things on earth. Not they went to church and they went to Bible study and they studied their verses. Don't get me wrong, like you're a beginning Christian, sure. Start with that, Get comfortable with the faith. Get comfortable with going to church. Get comfortable with other people. But you will quickly fizzle out, lose passion, lose faith, and just really stagnate in your growth. And if you stay like that, you will be a mediocre Christian who God doesn't know. Because God did not come, give his son to die on the cross just for you to go to church. Just plain and simple. He did it so that you could go throughout the world, spread goodness and love and light. And when you only stay in church, when you don't do anything good for other people, you're not a real Christian. Simple as that. Anyways, see you tomorrow.